Objective for this lesson is to use formulas for area and perimeter. So we want to talk about what area is and what perimeter is first, and then we'll talk about how to find the area and perimeter of rectangles. All right, so first, the formula for area is area equals length times width. Sorry about my bad writing. So area is length times width. So that means how long it is and how wide. So you don't even have to know which is which. You just have to know you're basically multiplying the two numbers that are given to you. So in this case, you're multiplying the 4 and the 6. And then perimeter, the formula is, in this case, a four-sided figure. It's side plus side plus side plus side. So you're just adding up all four sides. So in this case, if we're finding area, and we know that area is equal to the length times the width, what would the area of this rectangle be? That's right. Like I said, you just multiply the two numbers. So 4 times 6 will be 24. I'm going to tell you what you put after the 24 in a minute. And then perimeter, like I said, you're adding all four sides. Now, they only give you two numbers. So every time you get a rectangle and they give you two of the measurements, what you should automatically do is fill in the numbers that are missing. So for instance, in this case, if you know this side over here is 6, then the opposite side is 6, right? And so if you know this side is 4, this side is 4. So I always fill in the missing numbers just so you don't get confused. So to find the perimeter, you're adding the four sides together. So what is the perimeter of the rectangle? That's right, it's 6 plus 4 is 10, and another 6 plus 4 is another 10, so the perimeter is 20. Now, I told you before I was going to tell you what you put after the numbers in your answer. So if they don't give you a measurement like 6 inches, 6 feet, 6 meters, then these are what's considered units, and I'll explain it more down here in this picture. So if you don't know what the unit measurement is, feet, inches, whatever, you just put, for perimeter, you just put units. Okay? Now, the difference for area is, no matter what the measurement is, you always put square units. Or if it's feet, you put square feet, square inches. And I'm going to explain why in just a second. So, two types of problems you're going to have. First one is going to look like this. You're not going to have a terrible drawing like mine, but you are going to have kind of an area model or a rectangle with boxes in it like this. And you're going to have to find the perimeter and the area, write the equation, write the answer, and then label it. Okay? Label it is going to be your units if they give you inches, whatever. So in this case, so they might not give you any measurement. They might not say inches or whatever. So here's what you would do. Again, going back to area, I was going to explain why you have to say square. Oops, I just erased. I'm going to explain why you have to say square units. Well, because here's the thing. Area is the measurement of everything inside the rectangle. All right? And you can divide up a rectangle into square units, basically a bunch of squares. All right? So if this is your rectangle, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 squares going down. So that's your measurement, 4. This side is 4. And across the top, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So your measurement across the top is 6, so it's 6 by 4. We're doing basically the same rectangle as up there. I'm just showing you. So The area, like I said, is the measurement of everything inside your rectangle. So if you were to count up the squares, you would have 24 square units, right? If this was feet, you'd write 24 square feet instead of the units, all right? So we figured out the area, so they want to say, they want you to write, okay, well, what's the equation for area, right? Remember, here's the equation for area. Area is length times width. So all you'd have to do is, and I don't care what order you write them in, you could do 4 times 6, you could do 6 times 4. The answer is 24, and then you have to label it. So remember, area is always going to be square. You can abbreviate it with an SQ and a period. And in this case, it's units. All right? So now, for perimeter, you would, right, you add up all the sides. So again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, oops, count the same one, right? 6 and 4, 6 and 4. So the equation for that would be, this one's a little different. What you could do is, and again, you can write it a couple different ways. You could write it like I'd set up here with side plus side plus side. And so you could write it 6 plus 4 plus 6 plus 4. They only give you a few boxes here. So what I think they want you to do here is combine like the 6 and 4. So you could do 10 plus 10 is 20, right? You could do 2 10s, right? 10 times 2, and then units. We'll talk about different ways to write the formula for perimeter. I'm not as concerned about the formula as long as you know how to find the perimeter and how to find the area. So let's give you a practice. All I want you to do for this is, I don't care about writing the formulas or whatever, but I do want you to answer with the correct units. So let's say that this side, well, actually, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to write it. I'm going to draw it. Okay. There's your rectangle. I want you to find the area, and don't forget how to label it. There's your clue. Find the area of this rectangle first. Okay. So for the area, remember, it's everything on the inside. So you could just count and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Hopefully you remember to put square units. Or if you just counted across the top, there's 5, and then counted down the side, there's 3, and multiplied them, you get 15 also. All right, and then second thing I want you to do is, now I want you to find what is the perimeter of this rectangle. Okay, so for perimeter, remember you're measuring the side. So that side's 5, that side's 3, but that's not all the sides. Don't forget to write your 5 here, your 3 here. You add everything up, and hopefully you got 16 units. All right. So hopefully you understood that. If you had any trouble with any of this, remember you can always pause this video and rewind it and watch it again. All right, second type of problem you're going to have on your independent practice will look like this. They're giving you the measurement of one side, and they're telling you what the area is. They're not going to always say area equals. If they have the measurement, if they have the total inside the rectangle, that means they measured the whole inside. So here they have the area and one side, and they want you to figure out, oh man, and they want you to figure out what that side is. So here's how you would do that. You have to remember what the formula is for area of a rectangle. So what I would do with this problem is, first is I would remind myself what the formula is. Area equals length times width. And then what you do is right underneath the letters, you're going to write the numbers that go along with it. So the area, do I know the total area of this rectangle? Sure I do. They gave that to me. So I'd write 60 equals, Do I know the length or the width? Yeah, I know one of them. So I don't care what side you call length or width, I really don't. So let's just say I know it's 12 times something. So to find this side, you have to find out what you'd multiply 12 by to get 60. So you can do that by counting by 12s and see how many 12s you get till you hit 60. You could divide 60 by 12. Right? If you know your multiplication facts, you might know it off the top of your head, which would be outstanding. You know, one of the easier ways to do it might be counting by 12s. So if you know that's 24, add up 36, 48, oh, I got to 60. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 12s. So my answer would be 5. 5 times 12 is 60. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to give you one practice like that. I'm going to give you smaller numbers though. Let's do that. And I want you to find what the missing side is. What is the length of this side? Okay, so hopefully you did the formula. Oops, length. Totally messing up. Get rid of that L. So area equals length times width. We know that total area. We know one side. We have to find the other side. So if you did that, all you have to do is figure out what times 3 is 24, and the answer is 8. All right, so you're going to have some independent practice on this, and as I say every time, if you didn't quite get something, go back and watch the video again, or send me a question, and I